The moment is here, you can stop your search. It's Comics by Perch.
Hey everybody, this is Perch. If you've been with the channel for any length of time, I've tried to talk around these issues of, things like The Little Mermaid. They do the live action version, they recast it, people are upset, people don't understand why people are upset. And I've done videos talking about, well, here's why people are upset. And no, it may not be as simple as those people are racist. It could be even more simple of, hey, these people's view of this character is a redheaded cartoon. And certainly, you could argue, you could argue with it by going, well, those people shouldn't be so hung up on, redheaded cartoon characters. And I mean, my answer is sure, but have you looked around the world lately? Like people get hung up about everything. I mean, we're all living our lives and we attach meaning to things, and shocking. Sometimes when those things change, people are upset about it. It's not a big mystery. And the thing that irks me always about this, and it's probably come through in several videos, is the part that frustrates me more than anything else is the people who express surprise. Like, I can't believe, I never would have predicted that, because it's always said in this smug way, I never could have predicted that people would have been upset about The Little Mermaid. I could never have imagined. And it's like, no, of course you can, because when you're going to change an iconic character, or you're going to do something very different, then, people are going to be upset. I mean, duh. I mean, I get it. Look, everybody has the right to be upset at things, to defend things, to go with what they want. But acting incredulous about something that, there is no mystery or surprise around this stuff, that's where it just feels very tiresome. And it feels very performative. And it feels like, people are just up for the fight as opposed to actually creating anything. And that gets to kind of my second irritation about all this is, from my perspective, and I know several of you disagree, but that's okay. From my perspective, the art of creating something, of bringing a story to life, of bringing a vision to life, is something good, something important, something valuable. I think creating comics, creating movies, creating music, creating art is a worthy and valuable thing. And I don't think you need to be constrained to just stick with what's come before. If there is a writer, an artist who really has a vision around a black Little Mermaid, they make the movie. Go for it. No problem. Just don't act shocked when some people don't follow along with your vision. And don't immediately classify those people as some of the worst people in the world. Because that's where it goes. And unfortunately, that's how the criticism ultimately feels. Well, the only people who dislike this movie I made are racists. Well, racists are terrible. So therefore, if we're playing this out using that logic, you must be wonderful. Your movie appeals to only good people, and bad people don't like it. And those bad people should be destroyed anyway. So, in effect, 100% of everyone likes your movie. That's kind of the argument that people construct. And I know, there's people bring up like, well, but what about this one tweet from this one person over here that talks about, has a Confederate flag in their bio and talks about how they long for a return to slavery, and they didn't like that movie. And are you saying that person's not a racist? Of course that person is a racist, but that person is not indicative of the masses. So I give all this preamble because now we've got Snow White. And once again, it feels exhausting. The entire thing feels super, super exhausting on all fronts because there isn't a single note of this story that is new. Nothing. I mean, the best entertainment you have, the absolute one, tiny little bit of somewhat new comedy, is that they've changed the 7 dwarves to 7 magical people, and then they've got a medley of heights and races and genders and everything as the dwarves, and that is there's a bit of comedy there, and that we the 7 dwarves being turned into just 7 kind of random magical people is different. So at least that's slightly new to kind of poke at. But everything, and Peter Dinklage, people are getting all mad at him, like, damn you, Lannister, you screwed up the dwarves. That there's some comedy in all that. But by and large, with this movie, I mean, look at it. So, okay, so what do we have? We have a first of all, the original sin. You're taking a cartoon and doing a crappy live action remake. And I feel safe saying it's crappy live action remake because they all are. The only one that performed terribly well was The Lion King. The Lion King, and I think half of it was like, hey, the talking animals. How's that going to work? And I don't. And plus, people like The Lion King as a story, so fine. That The Lion King became, is the easy one to market. But the rest of them have all pretty wildly underperformed where they're wanting to go. And it, certainly we can, raise our hand and say, well, it's got to be because of sexism and racism. But the movies are not, the movies largely suck. The one thing you don't see, there's plenty of people you can see out there doing reviews and commenting saying, hey, it's really great. Hail Berry, she has a wonderful singing voice. And it's really great to see a black Little Mermaid because, black girls can be Little Mermaid. What you don't see in any of the reviews are, and the film was so good. Like, man, it was good. The acting was good. The songs were good. The story. I mean, I thought I knew the original story, but this one there was even more to it. It was just a better version of the story. Same thing if you go to Cinderella, you go to all the various, crappy movies here that Disney has made into live action. Nobody is going, wow, this story is amazing. Nobody. Because it's not. At best, the film feels like a shot-by-shot remake of the original. But mostly, they feel like kind of watered-down, made-for-TV movies. And I don't know, when I was a kid, there were these kind of made-for-TV movies where they do live-action versions of, Peter Pan and other things. And they were generally pretty crappy. They weren't as good as, quote, the original. I understand a lot of these stories predate the Disney cartoons, but in many people's minds, the original is what matters. So amidst all the complaining, it's like, we can't, you do need to remember that every live action thing that's vomited out of Disney's machine here has been pretty shitty. So, and that cuts both ways, by the way. Maybe Disney should, give up on this plan or start doing something more unique or original with these movies and do something new and different. That would be a good idea. Also, for the people who are going, I can't believe it's bad. Yes, you can. You absolutely can. So Snow White's coming up, everybody's like, man, this looks terrible. Yes, of course it looks terrible. They all look terrible. They all have looked terrible. This really is a fool me once, fool me twice. Okay, fool me for the 18th time. You don't get that. You don't get to be fooled at this point. It's really obvious. And then you get so then the next thing is like, okay, so the main actress that they cast there talks about the movie is old fashioned and old and, basically paying for a younger, playing to a younger TikTok audience. And this is, everybody's outraged about that. Did you hear that? She's denigrating the original source material. Again, this isn't new at all. At all. Does she sound smug and obnoxious when she does it? Yes. Yes, she does. Is that, again, how is this new? And that's the problem. As you mount up the different things people are pissed about in this movie, it's like, well, they're going to deprioritize the prince. You mean like the last three movies? Yes, I'm sure they will. Yes. Well, now this woman's blaming the fans for attacking her. Yes, just like the last, just like the last dozen have. I think the part when you get to Snow White, you're left looking at this going, all right, nobody was asking for a live action version of this movie. Nobody really wanted it. The doesn't look particularly good. Like the stills look bad. Look, I don't know, just but stills often do. A lot of times when you see these movies leaked from movie filming, it's like the characters in costume, but they're waiting for, the films to start rolling, so they're kind of slumped over, tired, looking pissed. They're really like, hot damn, I'm ready to do this sixth take of walking across the meadow and looking blissfully up at the sun. I'm so happy I'm doing this thing. No, they usually look kind of pissed off. So the footage looks bad. In terms of this woman's comments, yeah, they're shitty. But again, we've heard this song before. This is a cover of a cover of a cover of a cover of a cover. And at some point, what is the point? If you would have asked me 2 years ago, hey, Disney is going to do a live action Snow White. You know nothing about what they're going to do, but they just announced, that's all we know. They're doing a live action Snow White in 2024 or 23, whatever the stupid movie's coming out. What would you predict? I'm like, okay, they're going to get an obnoxious actress who's going to show disrespect to the original source material, talk about how they need to modernize it to, play into the more feminist roots of Snow White. They need to make sure that she can stand on her own. Don't need no man. They're going to, I think I would have probably predicted they're going to have to handle that tricky dwarf situation because, you can't call dwarves in 2023. They can't do that. The movie's going to look at various times like it was filmed on the cheap. It's going to have all the heart and soul of a Jack in the Box bag that you put burgers in. It's just you could have predicted all of this. And so I guess in terms of the outrage, because you see a lot of videos, and I saw Zach post something like, I'm unsubscribing for channels that talk about Snow White. So maybe he unsubscribes to mine at this point. I don't know. If he subscribed at all, actually, I'm not sure. But I see these things pop up, and it's like, can you believe Disney's doing this? And they've got like a scared emoji. And it's like, yeah, I can. We all can. And so it's, you get back to that sage wisdom from Kelly Sue DeConnick. If you don't like it, don't buy it. Well, I'll make one more prediction that we don't know yet because the movie hasn't come out. This movie's not going to perform very well. It's not going to make a lot of money. How do I feel confident making that prediction? Because none of them, I'm numb. None of them are. None of them are making much money. Why would this one? I feel pretty safe in saying this film is going to underperform. And by and large, the biggest attention and controversy this film's going to get is right now, months before it launches. When the movie actually does come out, there will be a handful of articles about 2 or 3 days after it's been in the theaters and it's been underperforming. And the articles are going to be written something like this. Disney's woes continue. Snow White underperformed at the box office this weekend, pulling in less than expected. There was controversy as a number of people online complained about the race, gender, and comments that the actress made. But even this can't account for the low amount of money that the movie pulled in. And then the article will go on to kind of complain about online trolls a little bit. But then also, be forced to admit it's like, yeah, but even without that, this movie wasn't going to make money. And then Disney will quietly forget that this thing ever existed. It will, be played for 1 or 2 months on some planes. You'll be able to see it there. It will show up on Disney cruise ships as a movie that you can watch in your stateroom on the TV. And, otherwise you're going to go to Target and you're going to see some t-shirts and things with Snow White branding, but it's going to be mainly kind of cartoon versions of her or silhouettes. They're going to actually not have as much live action versions of her. And like you saw with Little Mermaid, they kind of went more cartoony with it in hopes of pulling more kids in. And then within 6 months of it coming out, it will have been forgotten. Do you remember Cinderella? Do you remember that Disney did a movie for Cinderella? They did. Yeah, this one's going to age as quick and fast as that one did, if not faster. And it'll be done. And then Disney will turn around and they're going to make a live action. I have no idea. What are we on? Like Moana, I guess, is coming. You got Lilo and Stitch coming. And, then the cycle will repeat. They're going to do it's just going to keep going. They're going to do a live action Frozen at some point. And the actress is going to, the cast to be Elsa, is going to talk about how annoying that song was and how much she didn't like it. And everybody's going to go, how dare she not like that song? You're going to see a lot of grown men out there going, how dare this actress talk about not liking Let It Go, the song, clearly one of the most impressive songs of the millennium. And this is unacceptable, Disney. And then we'll get to live all this over and over. Anyway, these videos piss people off because people didn't come in the comments going, well, no, this is just a whole video of you talking about how you don't like something. Well, I'm just saying, I'm trying to kind of open up the possibility that some of this stuff, it's old at this point. It's old. And collectively, if we just stop buying into the drama around it, we might accelerate to the end of this process faster. We've tried it. We tried it your way. We tried it. We tried it other people's way for a while now. Saying no. I remember I did a little bit of the hey, hate watching stuff tends to prolong the life. It's the Eric Bischoff controversy is cash phenomenon. It does actually give things a little bit more energy. And so if people ignore more of this stuff, it tends, history shows us that it tends to go away faster. If apathy actually does tend to be the brand killer, a lot more than outrage. And a number of people in the comments like, nope, you're wrong. I had people do video reactions to that video. Like, no, incorrect. If we say nothing, the communists win. So you expect us all to just shut up and like it? No, I expect you to not watch it and hate it. That's what I expect you to do. You see something, I hate it, ignore it, don't watch it. No, you don't go in and give Disney your money anyway, you dummy. No. Just be done. We tried it that way. In fairness, for the last several years, we tried it that way to make sure the communists don't win. Well, the stuff keeps coming. The movies keep getting vomited out of the conveyor belt. So my suggestion is, why don't we actually pull back and try it my way for a little bit? Just be apathetic. Just try that. This actress sounds awful. She sounds like a terrible person. I don't want to watch more of her. Why would anyone? I saw some video. It popped up in a feed. And just autoplayed after whatever the previous thing was, and they keep playing little clips of this white actress being obnoxious, and then the guy comes out. He's like, "Oh my god, I can't listen to that. I can't listen. Oh, it's like nails on a chalkboard. It's like this is the worst. I hate everything about her voice. Let's hear it again." And then he plays the clip again. I'm like, what are you doing to yourself, man? What are you doing? It's like it really hurts when I hit my balls with this hammer. Watch. And stop. Anyway, there you go. We're living in a loop. It would be great. Let's get out of the loop. Thanks for listening.